like,
Can't be fucked.
I just cut Ben off entirely.
Yeah, I was gonna say that a lot of them are like, it's like, yeah, fuck off, yeah, go on.
What a start. And I just realised as well, that didn't even mute the mic. So everyone who's actually watching, you just heard that, just does give him Ben shit, essentially, and just cut him off. Just shut it.
The thing is about Ben as well, his character off mic is the exact same as it is on. So to be fair, it doesn't matter. It's not like he had to change anything. We know what Ben is. We know what Ben's going to say.
It's no slip of the mask. You get what you get.
No slip of the mask.
You know what we should do, Ben? Genuinely say, Lewis, before we get into it, what we should do at some point, we should get Ben on and we have to spend an episode pretending to be Ben and Ben has to try and be like you and I. I think that would be a good podcast. Ben.
Lewis is all right. You go fucking floating around with the bird.
Mate, you are like the most positive person I've known, you know. Talking about the Middle Eastern women cleaning your teeth and all that.
Hey, okay, there's fucking right. There's context. There's context. I went to the dentist. There's context to what was just said. He's made that sound nuts. He's made that sound absolutely nuts, Lewis. A minute into you and I making content again, that's what you're doing. That's disgusting behavior.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope your ring light breaks. Go on.
Whoa, hang on a minute. Show everyone that pretty light that you signed today.
Yeah, brand new signing, 30 mil from Crystal Palace. And you tap it, it changes colour.
It's not even 30 mil, it's 20 mil, unfortunately, because apparently Liverpool can't pull their fingers out from their arse. Welcome back to the channel. Me and Mike have made the bold decision that we're going to try and work together, sort of making content, doing live streams, inspired by people like Ben, who you can see over on Red or Live TV. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you go subscribe to him, because I think there's so many creators out there who make content, and it is very much sort of, it can feel put on. Ben is not like that. Ben's one of the most honest, creative, wonderful people who support Liverpool. So I do highly recommend you go check out his channel. And also Mike's here too. We love Mike.
Fuck me. Cheers, Ben. Cheers, Lewis. Yeah, Ben, you're just amazing. You're everything I wish to be. And, you know, Ben, you're fantastic. And Mike's also here. All right, cheers, man. Thanks for the introduction. Don't worry,
yeah, but you're going to be here every week, so everyone just needs to get used to that. Let's be honest. This isn't. I'm not here to strike a ego. We're partners, man. But yes, welcome back to the channel. This is just the first stream that we're going to be doing. We're toying with names, we're toying with all sorts. This was very sort of. It's just something that we've wanted to do for a while, and yes, plenty has gone on, and that's why we've brought Ben along, because, like I said, Ben's one of the most honest people out there, and he will happily discuss this Marc Guehi situation, mess, shit show, whatever you want to call it, where Marc Guehi has gone to Manchester City for £20 million, not 30, not 35, not 100, £20 million. And like, this isn't going to be a sort of go around the room, pass round, question. This is a riff. This is everyone going on it, because I don't know about you lads, I'm raging. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed, I think is the best word for me personally.
Ben, you're on mute. Thank God. Start off strong.
No, Liverpool are on mute as well, lads, and you know, I'm just copying them.
That's why he's the best. That's brilliant. That's why you're the best, Ben. Go on.
No, look, before we fucking have a little tear up, right? Lou, I appreciate coming on. To everyone watching, smash the like, subscribe, and it's hard work, isn't it? You know, you do. I don't know how many live shows you do. You know, you do loads of recordings as well, don't you? And you know, and obviously the Emphasis Index stuff. It's hard work. It is hard work, and it's been made harder this year because no one likes to. Let's make no mistake about it. I'm not happy with the Liverpool this year, but no, I don't like to talk shit about them. I spend a fortune, by the way, because I go the home and away in Europe. So, like, of course, I'm going to be vocal about it. Do you know what I mean? And I know a lot of people are feeling the same way as I am, and I'm sure you boys are similar as well. You know, it's not just Marc Guehi. Let's just make let's just be honest about it. Liverpool are in need. Liverpool are not in a comfort zone where the Champions League just gifted to them now. Let's be real about it. So I don't want to see. Remember how we got Champions League last year, boys? Last time, boys. Alisson scored a fucking header. Let's, what are we expecting this time? Fucking, do you know what I mean? So, look, you have to create your look, and we've had many chats of this, boys, and you know, you'll say your piece now. But I just before we all go in, I just want to say thanks very much and make sure people support you.
Well, we appreciate that.
Yeah, no, that's massive, isn't it? Look, I'm going to cut straight in a little bit.
You jump in, man.
I'm going to. I think for me, I think just going back to how you started, you mentioned like it's not a good time to talk about Liverpool in a way. And I think that's one of the reasons you're very authentic, Ben. Because a lot of people they and we spoke off camera about this. Well, a lot of people they love. I don't want to name any. There are other clubs that have their fan channels, and Liverpool have their own fan channels as well. It's no disrespect to anybody that makes content, but they know when it's negative, there's more content, there's more to talk about, and they're able to wrap it up and produce it in a way where it's engagement. And at the end of the day, it's careers for people, so I understand it. But I do think Lou and I, and Ben yourself as well, kind of leading with that authenticity, that honesty of like how we are. It's going to take a lot for me to be negative on the stream. You guys know me well enough. If you haven't seen me, I've Anything Liverpool podcast, and I hop on the Red Room, and I've thankfully enough made my debut on Red or Alive recently enough as well. You guys absolutely fucking hate me because I come in because anytime we come up with a topic,
you bring the positivity, man.
Yeah, a little bit too much at the time. Yeah, the birds tweeting as a circle around my head. But the way I see it, it's like one of the reasons I wanted to make content with Lou. I make content with these two incredible people, Adil and Lila, and I love doing it. I just love talking about football. And I like trying to just really understand things, and it's really easy to be doom and gloom, and it's really easy to turn around and be like, hey, they're the fault for everything, this is awful. That I think it's harder to take a more positive perspective at times without being overly optimistic, and that's what I like to try and land in. With that being said, we have shot the bed a little bit in this start of the window with Guehi. Now, I don't take the position, and I'm happy to hear both of you here, I don't take the position of we've missed out on Guehi. I take the position of we missed out on him in the summer. We didn't miss out on him in Jan. He was demanding £300,000 a week. I like Guehi. I've watched Guehi play. I don't think he's a 300 grand a week centre back in the same way I don't believe Konate's a 300 grand a week centre back. We should have paid the money. I think Liverpool were willing to match the fee City put up. I think it's the contract that we were beat on, which wouldn't have been an issue had we got it over the line in the summer. So that's where my issue is. We failed in the summer with him, but I don't see it as a failure in January.
That's the problem I've got. So as you've just been saying that, someone's just tweeted me saying, go support Everton, 300k a week for someone whose aerial dual success is one of the lowest in the league, and Palace are now struggling. Priorities change. My issue is not 300k a week is mental money. Only Van Dijk and Salah have that much money in our squad.
Forwards level of money, isn't it? Strikers level of money.
It's a striker's level of money. But the issue is we should have got to a position where City can offer that amount of money. We should have been in there straight away, first day of January, offering him 200k, the amount we were going to give him the first time, and not give City the chance to offer that ludicrous amount of money. It's not about competing with them. It's about we laid the groundwork out last summer. So why have we now decided that in a time and situation where we have less depth than we did when we tried to sign him the initial first time, why is it now suddenly we're beating around the bush and we're not offering him what we were offering him last time, or slight increase? Why have we allowed City the time to jump in and offer this ludicrous amount of money, which obviously we can't compete with?
Well, go on, Ben.
No, sorry, I was just putting a tweet out for the show. Look, I don't believe it's 300 grand a week, to be honest. I think that's...
Where do you think that came from?
Sorry, lad. I think that's, Asim made a good point on my show last night. I don't know if you caught it, Mike. I know Lou was in the building on the show. When all the carnage kicked off, because it did erupt, didn't it, on social media? Of course it was going to erupt. Liverpool aren't playing well. When you add petrol onto the fire, it fucking explodes, you know what I mean? And that's what's happened. The fan base have kind of exploded the notch to the point whereby Twitter just fucking shut down again. I don't believe it. That's 200 grand a week. And I'm sure we'll find that out when the Man City journalists start pushing the narrative. I believe it's around 200, 220, and that's what he's worth. You're talking about... I think it's quite difficult to name top centre-halves at the minute in Europe. Take away the Gabriels and the Van Dijks, for instance. You're probably saying in Italy, Bastoni, right? England, you're probably saying Marc Guehi. And then you've got the odd ones in France is probably Saliba, do you know what I mean? Brazil, probably Gabriel, blah, 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 Van Dijk. Holland. Why the fuck are we messing around with it again? When we desperate need. Now, Mike, you're 1,000,000% right. He's not worth 300 grand a week. But to Liverpool right now, I'm not saying to pay it, but money shouldn't come into it when they've got a fucking Champions League issue to qualify. No. Now, I know there's 5 positions, but let's not make it a game whereby we're fucking flapping around because, boys, we've seen it that many times. My issue is, look, it's not just about Marc Guehi. Our luck will be that the window shuts and about a week later, fucking Van Dijk and Konate pick up another knock. And I'm like, boy, why do you do it? It's not now. It's fucking gone on for years. It happened at Jurgen Klopp. And look, my problem is, with Jurgen, he could inspire a fucking fish to start walking down the street. Do you know what I mean? This manager's struggling, inspiring. And so we need to make sure we are equipped. And it's not about being negative. It's not about being optimistic. We've got to be honest about it. With us, there's no guarantee Liverpool gets up 4 this year with the squad at the minute. And it's not about quality. It's about them staying fit because they're playing.
Do you know how many centre-backs we've signed since 2019?
I've seen this tweet. I've seen this tweet.
Yeah. 5 centre-backs, man. And of those 5, only one of them has came in with the intention of being a first-teamer.
Now,
like a sustained one.
I think the other thing that needs to kind of be mentioned is Joe Gomez was in negotiations with AC Milan in the summer. Liverpool were happy to let him go should the fee be matched. That was with the anticipation that Konate was going to extend and we would have signed Guehi. That was the movement that was going to happen if Guehi got over the line. Now, it looks like there's been no movement on the Konate contract. I don't expect there to be. I think Konate leaves on the free at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think he's gone.
I don't know. I don't think there's going to be as much uproar about it. Depending on where Liverpool finish, there won't be uproar.
They can't afford them to go now, don't Mike?
But
do you think Liverpool will buy 3 fucking centre halves?
But this is the thing. So I agree with you. But then I think Joe Gomez doesn't go now. I think Joe Gomez is kept as a squad player, which he'll be happy with. He seems to like it, So far away from the mic there, but he seems to like being a part of the squad. I love Joe Gomez. I think everybody does. Like he's just a great person to have around. He can't work first team for us. Doesn't have the fitness for it. So then you go, right, you've got Joe Gomez, you have Leone, Konate leaves. You then need to bring a centre-back in. With that being the plan, you think, right, still bring Guehi in. That still makes sense to me to bring Guehi in. Now it looks like Konate's going, we don't have Guehi. The centre-back market is slim. There are players out there. Players out there. I do believe that. And I do believe that I don't buy into the narrative I've read where we haven't moved on Guehi. You know what I'm going for, don't you? I don't buy into the narrative. The reason that we didn't go for Guehi because Slot is on the way out in the summer. I don't buy into that.
I don't believe that.
No, not
having it. I think that
because he's just time for the manager. That's fucking probably going as well.
Yeah,
but any manager would benefit from having him. Any manager would benefit from having one of the best ball progressing centre backs in the league.
Exactly. He's too much. He's too much of an easy fix. And follow for the sorry about the sort of pun here, but he's an easy slot. Like he slots into the side easily, right? So I think with that in mind, you think it doesn't. Yeah, see, I like that. That's a good. I
only just clicked onto it then because I just seen the United game pop in the background.
Yeah, subscribe for more, lads. But no, genuinely. So I think so fucking stupid, lads. God damn it. But no, I think for me, it's like, right, Guehi is a quality centre-back. We've not brought him in. I don't think it's down the slot. In the same way, I've read the other day, Heitinga offered himself to Liverpool. Liverpool rejected it because they don't know who will be in charge next year. It's nonsense. That is nonsense. It is used to put pressure on Slot. I'm sure if Heitinga went anywhere that comes out, I'm sure Heitinga didn't reach out to Liverpool in that way because it's rare that normally happens. I just don't see it.
We are cutting off our nose despite our face with this Guehi situation, saying, oh, it doesn't make financial sense. Oh, it's because we don't know if the manager... If you're that unsure whether you're convinced by the manager, then you're not convinced by him, full stop, and you need to get rid of him if that's how you're feeling about it. Because Guehi would fit into any team, no matter who the manager is. It's not about for this particular manager. We need to start future-proofing. Van Dijk is almost 35. He turns 35 in June or July. I can't quite remember. Konate is going to be gone. Gomez is more than likely going to be gone. Leone's got an ACL injury. Your depth beyond that is Endo, who's injury-prone, and Robertson, who's in the last year of his contract. So you're looking at potentially losing 4 of the available players you've got in that back line. It's not about what suits Slot. And Guehi really does suit Slot, by the way. That's got nothing to do with it.
Liverpool in particular, Luke. Just
exactly.
Liverpool as a fucking hole. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
it's a mess at the minute, but you're cutting off your nose to spite your face by not signing a proven England international who has won the FA Cup, not with City, not with Arsenal. He captained a Crystal Palace team to win their first piece of major silverware, and you've missed out on him for £20 million. And there's people saying, "Oh, but the profile of players changed." That's absolutely fine, but how does every team nowadays operate? It's possession-based, progressive play from the back line into the middle of the pitch or out wide. Guehi, statistically, is one of the best players in Europe for doing that. Literally, in a passing metric, he is in the top 9% for shot creating actions, top 6% for switches of play, top 18% for key passes, 12 for passes into the penalty area. He's one of the best ball-playing centre-backs you're going to find. And if you're telling me that can't fit into the way Slot wants to play, you're talking out your arse, because it's got nothing to do with that.
But then on top of that, listen, Liverpool need to buy wingers, right? This is another conversation.
Yeah. So you need to do one before the other, then, in Jan. One's got to go.
This is what I was going to say. Not that I would accept this. If Liverpool sign one and not both, because Liverpool need 3 positions. Let's be clear. We need a centre back, a defensive midfielder, and a winger. These are 3 positions we've all highlighted. We all know we need. I believe the Adam Wharton stuff. I've heard from too many people from multiple different times. Adam Wharton is a Liverpool priority. I believe that, and I'm more than happy to believe that for the summer. Some people won't be a fan of it. I personally am. I think Adam Wharton for 65 mil is a great signing.
Okay, that price, not the 100 million fucking.
No. From what I've read multiple times over the last 6 or so months, the manager's going, Guehi's going, and Wharton's going in the summer. That was what I kept reading. And Palace are hitting another big restart. That's what I've read, and it was 65 mil for Wharton. I do believe that to be the fee for Wharton. I imagine so. Anything maybe 5 mil over, I'm fine with that. Add-ons, take it 75, whatever. As long as it's not 100 mil, I'm comfortable with it. So you think Wharton, for now, in my mind, as it stands, ticks that box. Centre back and winger. You have the winger who is begging for us from, is it Leipzig or is it Salzburg? I forget. The Diamande.
Oh, Jan Diamande. Video on him coming out soon, by the way. Just
get that little plug in.
Fucking plug right there. Go on, son. I tell you what, he snuck that one in. But yeah, no, absolutely. And like he's been begging for a move to Liverpool. I can see he is a Liverpool profile winger. I'd be open to that. We just need to sign a direct winger who is energetic. It's quite a wide, broad profile, and there's, as much as there's a shortage of centre backs on the market, there is a massive market of wingers right now that you can go out there and look for. Barcola wants to leave PSG at the end of the year. Doué, unbelievable. I'm not saying we get Doué, but Doué is a great example. There's a winger at Leipzig that the name keeps escaping me, who I've watched countless times because I went in December. I was betting on German football more than I should have when I was home. And he was brilliant. Who's the Leipzig winger I'm talking about? Lou's going to pull him up now.
I'm off back. No, that's right. I'll find it.
Nori, something like this. It begins with an
Amin Norai, whatever his name is.
Yes. He's fantastic, right? My point being is there's so many wingers out there Liverpool could go for. Liverpool not moving in January for Semenyo, for me, isn't the same as the Guehi one. I see the Guehi one as we failed in January. The contract changed so that, Liverpool didn't want to pay the fee. Noosa, thank you, KD.
Yeah.
Noosa, if you're not subscribed, mate, make sure you subscribe so you can keep filling in the blanks for me in future episodes. Noosa, like, it's fantastic. So
Noosa,
yeah. Thank you. But Guehi we didn't go for because the wage, and I kind of understand that. I'm still frustrated by it because we should have got him in the summer. We pulled out of the Semenyo one for different reasons in my mind. I genuinely think Liverpool looked at him and went, no. I really do. I think they thought 65 mil for him wasn't it. They decided not to, and they've pulled back and they want to put that elsewhere. And I'm fine with that. I think he suits Man City more than he would suit Liverpool anyway. So I'm more than fine with that. We do need to sign a winger though.
Oh, 100%. I think the issue we've had this summer is, while it's been very much a summer of, we've brought in a lot of top level players. We've definitely progressed. We've added a lot of attacking talents and versatile wingers. That's great. But like Slot does keep saying, and as much as I will sit here and say that Slot does talk out of his arse at points in press conferences, there is moments he's truthful. And one thing he was truthful about is we've not added on to the squad. We've bought to replace. And that is true. That is very much true. now we're in a situation where, because of injuries, we're right back where we were a few years ago, and we do have to start adding players. And it's not just adding players onto the team for now. We've got to start signing people who are going to be here for the long term. That's the way Liverpool operate. Yan Diomande would be a brilliant player to bring in terms of the way that he attacks and his metrics and everything. But we do need experience in this team. And we've got Salah, who's potentially leaving. We've got Gakpo, who... he just looks like he's in a bit of a decline. As much as we want to bring in these young, talented players, we also need a core group. And I think signing centre-backs with experience adds to that. That's why Van Dijk is so crucial to this team. And I think you're absolutely right in what you're saying. But we need people behind these wingers who can give us a solid defensive backline. Because imagine go back to Rodgers' season 2013-14. I'm not comparing Slot to Rodgers, of course. I agree with what you said the other day, Mike. He's more Benitez for me. But you look at that attacking lineup and you're Coutinho, you're Sterling, Suarez, Sturridge, Gerrard attacking at that point, even when deep. And behind them, you had a back line consisting of Skrtel, Ali Sissoko, John Flanagan, Glenn Johnson. I never felt confident. Never felt confident going into those matches. So regardless of how many attacking players we bring in, if your defensive back line is built out of what's-it, you're going nowhere. And that's the way we've gone this season. Anytime a team puts one ball into that back line, they're through on goal and causing us headaches. That Fulham game as well, the first time we attacked was because Jones put a risky ball through the middle, straight to Gakpo. Every other fucker on that team looked lost. Like, oh my God, someone's actually just played the ball forward. It's the way we set up and the squad depth that we've got in the back line. No attacker is going to come in feeling confident because of how poor we are at the back.
Now, on that though, because you got to settle players as well. So I know we're talking about the back line. It's been very poor at times this season. I agree with that. But I do think as the season's gone on, Kirkes has got better and better and better. I think Van Dijk,
he's been great recently, Mike.
Yeah, I really do. And I really do. And I think I really don't like I mean, social media is going to run narratives no matter what anyway, but the whole, like, he's a Nunes of left back, I think that started actually from Neville or Carragher. It's absolutely
Carragher.
Which of all people as well. I mean, listen, the one thing he got right, to be fair, his comment on Gakpo has aged like fine wine, so he's kind of nailed that one, unfortunately. But it frustrates me a lot because I think Kirkes is better settling in well. I think Frimpong, I know he's technically playing right wing, but when he has played right back, he has defended well. He has, like, I really don't think he's been caught out often. Yeah. His pace helps him. Brilliant. Absolutely.
Absolutely brilliant for Frimpong. Do you know what? Can I just jump in, Mike?
The
only goodness to come out of this season is the new players, in my opinion.
I agree.
A lot of the other ones, our older ones have been shit. Maka, garbage. Gravenberch has had the odd few games, but majority of them, then it's not good enough. You know what I mean? So Boslai's done himself proud this year. Jones in stages, been a little bit up and down with the fitness. Salah, like, do you know what I mean?
Canate.
Fucking, without the new players, we'd be about fucking 12th this year.
Yeah. But then you could also argue that the new players, we'd have a bit more cohesion. So it is this because we did sign too many players at once. We all knew it. No one said it. I was still excited by it all the same. You're going to be. I do think we've signed well. I do still stand on. I said this when I was brought onto the radio to talk about Liverpool, and Rory Jennings asked me. He said, "How would you rate the window?" I said, "I don't rate the window. You rate a window 18 months down the line. 18 months. The reason it's 18 months, players have to settle in." Everything needs to settle in before you judge a player, because I can buy a world-class player for 100 mil, doesn't mean he's going to land. I can buy a player you've never heard of for 8 mil, and it doesn't mean they're not going to become one of the best left-backs in Premier League history.
Leone could be a prime example. Leone could grow into an amazing player, but the facts are facts that we need people to hit the ground running immediately, and Guehi was that player. And then the Cop Council says, afternoon lads, let Marc Guehi go to City, is criminal, but who can we go for now? Would love Jeremy Jacquet or Nico Schlotterberg. The issue is Jeremy Jacquet's in talks with Chelsea and Nico Schlotterbeck is in talks with Real Madrid. So any of the top targets at the moment are getting picked apart by teams not bigger than us, but who have ambitions of fighting for higher than top 4.
And them two names, Lewis, right? A fucking Jacquet's getting, trounced about for 65 million.
Yeah.
What's Schlotterbeck's going to be 40, 50 million? And we've just walked away from a 20 plus 10 add-ons for a player that is plug and play with a fucking hit the ground running. And let's be honest, he'd have pushed Canate out of the team. Neither of them are going to push one of our centre-halves off the team straight away. I'm being honest now. They're not. They've never played in fucking England, right? What have we just sat around for? Lou, I said off here, and Mike, I don't know if you heard me because I couldn't see you at the bottom because obviously I'm not logged in. We always say in real estate, right? You know, shout out to Ashman in the building, especially Dicko as well, mate of mine. We always say to, you know, the brokers, don't get too emotionally attached. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Don't hold a grudge. Liverpool have held a grudge on Palace. They don't want to give them. They didn't want to give them a fucking penny. That's the big thing about it. It's not about wages, etc. Boys, you've just said it perfectly there, spot on. Liverpool wants them. He'd have been in on the fucking first with 200 grand a week. City wouldn't have been able to move. We've been checkmated by our own fuck up. That's the truth about it. And the stubbornness and ego from the two above the manager. And I've been going after the manager, and I will carry to go after him when he keeps chatting shit and playing Liverpool the way they are. But you know, the two above them need to fucking leave their egos at home, because don't be walking into Liverpool with that stupid ego, because we're playing roulette now and they're gambling on Liverpool. Because do you know what? They're expecting a miracle. Boys, the one I'm worried about is Virgil van Dijk. He's 34, 35. He can't catch a break. What the fuck are they expecting from him? Like, to play every minute. And then you boys know, as the fucking weeks carry on now, every game becomes harder. The competitions become harder because you're going into the latter stages. Are we expecting Van Dijk to be some spring chicken?
I literally said on Anfield Index then, on the Daily Red, Liverpool have got into a rut whereby they just think, right, slap whoever the fuck you want next to Van Dijk and he will make them look great.
He'll carry them around.
He will carry them around. He's been doing it at early stages this season. He was carrying Konate. That's why his headed clearances were so high, his interceptions, his overall play, his statistics were so high, because
it's made him look shit now, Luke.
Exactly. It's bounced back.
That bad that he's now looking shit.
You can't just bring in anyone. We've got to start future-proofing. We've got to start looking at what comes after Van Dijk, because there's so many times in the past. It happened with Suarez. We had a year to prepare for his departure. We waited until he left and we panicked, shit ourselves, and signed Balotelli. We signed Markovic. We signed all these players who were not capable of lacing his boots. We were reactive, not proactive, and that's who we are.
I think the thing is, Van Dijk and Salah, and this goes for, I'm bringing Salah in because he's a good example of it. Exactly what they are for their lines, if you think of it, defensive line, midfield line, forward line, for what Gerrard was for midfield for Liverpool for so long, in the sense that he brings the level of the people up around him, and you don't realize just the level that he's bringing them up until he's not involved. Now, I do think Van Dijk is here beyond his next 2 years. I really do. He's too good a defender.
He should be the one next to the main man going forward, don't we?
It should be the build-up. You should now be bringing it in the same way we did. Do you remember when Hoopier was captain of Liverpool, we started introducing Carragher alongside. I'm not saying Carragher is equal to this at all, but you introduced a solid player alongside the player. And then Carragher, when Rafa wanted Carragher out, he started bringing Agger in. And he was unlucky because Agger picked up injuries. But the idea was that you bring alongside the one who's taken over you. So you're running ahead of him until you're running level with him. And then by the time he's overtaken you, he's now taking the lead and you can step to the side. That's what you're meant to do. Very rarely works like that in football. It's very difficult to do. I remember when Gary Cahill came in to play alongside Terry, and that was meant to be the passing of the torch, and that never really worked out. Terry just continued going. I think Van Dijk can still go for many more years, but we do clearly need to bring a defender in. I think Schlotterbeck as well, because of the way he played. He was left-footed. I think the idea was, if we were to go for him, because Liverpool were linked with him quite heavily for the last 8 months, I don't think he was a Konate replacement. I think he was a long-term Van Dijk replacement. And that brings me on to my next point as to who I think they're bringing in to replace Van Dijk long-term. I am a fan of this signing. I don't know how it will go down at the moment. I think Mickey van der Ven is the player that the Liverpool want. Now, I'm not saying he's coming in to replace Van Dijk in terms of leadership or in terms of necessarily quality, but I think in terms of pace, ability to cover that
pace is the big one,
line, Pace is a massive one. He's 6'4", he's rapid, he's very strong, he's a smart player, and he's a good passer of the ball. Nowhere near as good as Van Dijk, very few defenders are. But Mickey van der Ven's going to be on the market in the summer, 100%. 100%.
Well, you touch on there, like the pass completion, the overall stats for him. He's in the top 6% of Premier League centre-backs for medium passes. Every other metric, he's around 70, the top 25 to 30%.
How old
but like I said, it's Mickey van der Ven is 24. He's 25.
He's decent age.
He's right on that age. And the only issue with Van der Ven is I think it's calf injury that's been reoccurring for him at times. But I don't know. Lewis, do me a favor while I talk with Ben. I feel like Joe Rogan when he tells hey, look that
up. I've got his injury history here.
Okay, Luke.
So since joining Tottenham, he's suffered 6 separate injuries. Those added up equals
he missed a long time at
48 matches he's missed so far for Tottenham.
What was the longest injury he had?
The longest injury was the second to last one. It was a hamstring injury. He missed 14 games, 51 days. And that was his second hamstring injury of the season.
But that is because, just to be clear, of how Ange Postecoglou was playing. They had a ridiculously high line.
Yeah. He's had no injuries this season.
So for me, Van de Ven's going to be on the market. Now, Ben, the way I see it, you're going to have a 24-year-old you're going to be able to get for under 50 mil from Spurs, because Spurs won't get European football this year. That's who I think Liverpool are looking at. You'll be able to get him for half the wages of Guehi. You'll pay more up front, but I think that's the player they're looking at. That
makes sense, right? And look, I never viewed Marc Guehi as the Van Dijk replacement. I think Liverpool, from the things I've heard, and we spoke about it before, I'm sure, Bastoni is the one they want to replace Van Dijk. It has to be.
Is it? Yeah.
He's supposed to be the one that they want to replace Van Dijk. And you can imagine the weight being for him. Of course you would. Because I think Liverpool, you're never going to get him early in a fucking January window. So Mickey Van der Ven's a right-footed, isn't he? Or is he left-footed?
Left-footed.
Yeah, but he can play with both feet. I've seen him knocking the ball around.
He's very good with both
feet. From everywhere, like some big fucking lanky fella, doesn't he?
But I think as well, the way he runs, I think a lot of top teams would like that. He's a centre back that can pick the ball up and he can end up in the opposition box.
He's basically he can do a Joel Matip as well, go forward with the ball.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah,
I can get it. I can understand that. Because look, there's a few centre halves, isn't he? Everyone keeps plucking young player names out, like the Jaquettes and the O'Donners and stuff like that. But
Cresswell
Cresswell. Liverpool really, Louis summed it up perfect. They need a bit of fucking experience as well. Because, like, for instance, on the front line, my ideal scenario is you need one mature winger who's got way more experience, and you need a player like that kid at what's his name, Diamande, who's the next best up and comer. A young one and a mature one, being like a Barcola, for instance. You can't just have two mature fucking players, because where are they all going to play? You've got Florian who's knocking around the front line. You've got Isak Wert. So you've got to get them all in. A younger kid is you've got more chance of telling Diamande, sit on the bench and bide your time. Yeah. And I firmly believed in January, regardless of what they've brought in, and I'm sick of hearing all this shit, how much they've brought in. They should have brought in likes of a Diamande in Jan, and they should have brought in that mature centre-half. Give them a chance to bed in. Look at us in January. We've got Salah, who's in the AFCON, now playing a third-round game against fuck knows who. Do you know what I mean? On a pitch with holes in, wasting everyone's time. Whereas, Liverpool are so short that even up to now, let's be honest, the best thing that I've always said to Liverpool fans when I go to the match, our beauty is, especially with Jürgen, and even last year, as you knew the team because it was so strong. Yeah. What the fuck's our best team? No one can tell me what our best team is because it's so up in the air. And my worry is we still need quite a fair few players. So we're going to have the same thing in the summer. 5 or 6 come in. Boys, Liverpool are going to be like that for years because there's no it looks erratic now. And I'm worried now that Liverpool better have something lined up early in that summer. Because, if it starts dragging on, like sometimes it does, panic comes into it. And, they're expecting some Virgil van Dijk if they're willing to pass on Marc Guehi. So they better make sure it's the right thing. And I think they're playing with fire. I really do think they're playing with fire. And they've got to get to the summer and make sure that Champions League, because it's a risk.
Well, listen, let's take a step back, because we've been kind of handling the bigger side of Liverpool at the moment. So trying to zoom into what we do have and what we can control. We faced Burnley today. Manchester United playing Man City. I believe, has that just kicked off? What's the score? Still 0-0.
Okay.
Go on.
I've got it in the background. Don't worry, I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah. You got it. Yeah. Go ahead. You can be Jeff Stellan. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I'd say, let me know. I think the way I see it now, if we want to bring it back in, it's a big weekend of football. Arsenal away, Nottingham Forest. City away at United, Liverpool at home to Burnley. Now, the reason I list it like that is because Arsenal are very much doing what Liverpool did last year. No matter where they go, they're going to pick up a point at the very least, get 3.
Don't lose, do you?
No, they don't. City are playing United. If City win today, early kickoff, they close that gap again and then puts the pressure on Arsenal. Liverpool are in a position where They're not in the title charge. We're in the top 3 charge. That's where we're going for. I put it out in December. My ambition for Liverpool this season is FA Cup, Champions League, 3rd place. That's the target. Now, if we achieve that, for me, that's still a good season. Regardless of how you want to paint it, if you walk away with 2 trophies and a 3rd place finish, I'm not complaining. And
it's still transition wouldn't be bad, would it?
A transition season, yeah.
And suddenly you accept it, and suddenly maybe you can take a breath, look back and go, okay, a lot of things we worried about, I mean, it's not great, but we've handled it well, you know? I think when everything capitulated in that one season under Klopp was, you had the centre-back injuries, the recruitment in the January was bizarre and panicked, but also the bad run came at a bad time. Remember, Slot's awful run in terms of results, not performance, I'm referring to here, came in the October into November. That's still a very recoverable moment of the season. Klopp's bad run came mid-January all the way to March. The worst possible moment where we had no
final season.
No, this is when Klopp had no
the league.
So 2020-21, we went on that big 10-game winning streak at the end.
Just to get 4th, because we lost 6 games at home. Because we lost 6 games at home.
That doesn't happen though if there's fans in the grounds, in my opinion.
No. And by the way, I agree with that. And the only comparison I'm making here is more a season to forget still ending on a good note. Because although that was a season to forget, we still had the 7-0. We still had the Alisson header. We still had these moments, And I think this season, again, this is a season to forget, but we've still had the Madrid win at home, the Atletico Madrid win at home, the Arsenal win at home in the way we did it. We've had moments still this season to remember. And I still think there are moments that we can have, especially with the Cups. So you look at Burnley and Ben, I'll come to you first. I'll go to Lewis, unless you're still distracted by the United City game, yeah? When you look at Burnley, the performance that we've seen in the last 2 games, we all agree the Arsenal performance, there's a lot of respect for that, the way we played. There was a lot of love to be had for that. The Barnsley game, the performance wasn't good. It was sloppy. However, there was still some moments to really be happy with. The Verts-Ekitike link-up specifically. Szoboszlai's all-round performance, although slightly arrogant, very bizarre decision with the assist that he gave away. But it was the arrogance of a midfielder with confidence, which I actually quite liked, other than that mistake. So going into the Burnley game, is there optimism for you? Shut out the noise from social media. Shut out the noise about transfers. The way we are as a team now, are you seeing steps in the right direction or no?
Look, you can't. They are unbeaten, but I personally don't like the football, and I believe they've got to start. The manager's got to start being a bit more. He's up for a bit of risk himself. Like, I will be annoyed if Liverpool are playing 4 midfielders today. I want to see 2 of them with the number 10 in front and get the forwards on, because look, we can all admit what they're coming to do today. They're coming to keep it tight and put a load of deck chairs in the box and sit on them and not intend to move. And do you know, if I start, this is where the manager's made himself look stupid this year when he keeps talking about low blocks as if this is some fucking new thing. It's not new.
Revolutionary idea. Yeah.
Fucking like something's just landed off the moon. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's absolutely bizarre. When you're the champions, people don't really want to stretch themselves, especially in your own ground, especially not at Anfield. So, look, he is undefeated in the last couple of games. There's a fair few games, but let's be honest, there's not many wins in the undefeated thing. We know the record. I want to see Liverpool win. Of course I do. But I think they're going to find it tough today. I really do believe they will. And I think it will. I think yesterday's going to have a bit of an effect on the fan base. I really do. I think in that ground today, people will be a bit more ratty. Liverpool start faffing around with it and they're not as out the traps. I don't think people are going to be too happy because, if I see Liverpool, in my opinion, if I start seeing fucking teams like Burnley in the first 2 minutes getting a head start, nearly hitting posts and all that shit, I'm going to start losing my bag a bit. Because let's be honest, Barnsley hitting the post at Anfield at the Kop end, 2 minutes, 25 seconds, that's not good enough for Liverpool. We are, let's be honest, on paper, one of the best teams in world fucking football. So, Burnley, this would be Jurgen Klopp's perfect game. He'd go, get at them straight away and let them deal with our pressure from the fucking front line. They'd be pushed into corners. I don't want to see Liverpool passive.
You want to see aggressive.
Yeah, show us you want to go and fucking win the 3 points, not wait and slowly build the game up. They're not moving.
I agree with you, and I think, listen, I think the Brighton game was a good example of that. I was there for the Brighton game. I was fortunate enough to
that game, yeah.
And the Brighton game, performance-wise, was that. It was aggressive, taking it to them, and we won the game.
The early goal helped, Mike. So we need to do the same.
Yeah, and I agree. Yeah, first 10 minutes is essential, especially at Anfield. We all know this. And any home game, really, the home team. But the way
they've
Anfield
got to react and come out, Mike.
Yeah.
You spoil their plan. So go and spoil it today.
Exactly. And listen, Lewis, I'll put this to you, because Ben mentioned there, it is 11 games unbeaten, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. I just had a quick look there. Of those 11 games unbeaten, 6 have been wins. And then the draws in between, we've had Arsenal, we've had Leeds, we've had Sunderland, and we've had another Fulham. So and then there's one more I'm missing there. So you've 5 draws.
Leeds again,
sorry. So you've had 5 draws and 6 wins. Okay.
Yep.
5 draws, 6 wins, 11 unbeaten. You get the win today. That's 7 wins, 5 draws, 12 unbeaten. You've got Marseille away on the Tuesday. Things, performance-wise, where do you stand? Are you regardless of today, if you come away and we're 12 unbeaten with a win, another 3 points, another clean sheet, but maybe the performance is another 10 minutes of sitting deep in our half, where do you stand with it?
Look, we all knew what Slot was going to be when he came in. I think we all knew he was going to be this possessive, control the ball, try and have teams break us down type of manager. But like Ben said, it's I want to see desire. And I keep saying it over and over and over again. It's become my mantra over the past few months. I don't give a shit what the team is. I don't care who the manager is. I don't care who's on the pitch. I don't care who we're playing. The very least I expect is effort. I want to see work rate. I want to see desire. That Arsenal game, that first half, we were so defensively compact, but we showed a desire to win every ball in the box. We showed a work rate to actually push forward in the second half. We showed that we weren't going there to roll over, and we looked like Liverpool again. And I did that in the post-match analysis. I said, I'm happy with that draw because we at least look like ourselves again. Brighton, you said then, perfect example. We straight away, we didn't show fear. We didn't give them the ball. We got at them. That is the very least I expect from the Liverpool team. Some sides you have to play more conservative. I understand, but it's Burnley. It's Burnley, who have not won in the Premier League in 12 matches, and their only fucking win in the past few months has been against Millwall. I do not want to go there today and see us give them the ball or look hesitant to attack. We are at Anfield against a relegated Burnley, who, let's face it, they are going down. We need to smell blood and get at them. That is all I want to see. And if we come away from this unbeaten, which I'm confident we can, phenomenal. But context is important. People say we're unbeaten in 12 if we beat Burnley. We're unbeaten in 11 now. Like you said then, draws against newly promoted teams that are battling relegation. We beat a West Ham who are battling relegation. Context is massive.
9 men, 10 men fucking of them games. You know
9 men Tottenham, we scraped against. Don't get me wrong, at the time, I loved that match, but looking back, it's a shit show. And it's something that needs to be addressed. And you touched on Burnley then, Mike, and I'm going to see if this works. I'm hoping it does.
Love that. Love that.
Tactics board.
Got that tactics board out. We've leveled up, boy. DNR, we're coming for you. Asim, watch out.
If Asim's still watching, I think he's gone the match, and he Asim, so he's probably not.
He's on the way
he's probably not here anymore. He's got shit to do. But yeah, we're going to try and pick who should start today against Burnley and give our reasons why. Now, this was the team that I picked before when I did Anfield Index. Now, I'm going to give you lads sort of free reign. We're going to debate who starts where. The one area where I'm going to get your thoughts. Now, a lot of people in the comments on that were saying Frimpong should not be right wing. And I wholeheartedly disagreed. Now, the argument to it was Frimpong on that right wing is not going to have a lot of space to work with. But for me, I think if you're a Burnley defence, we saw when we played Arsenal, Saka, the way he was one-on-one with Kerkez, as soon as he got to the byline, as soon as he got here, every defender went into panic stations because they just didn't expect them to beat the first man. I think if you have Frimpong pushing the fullback for Burnley, if he gets past that first man, they're going to shit themselves into panic stations. But I don't know if you lads agree, disagree. Like, what team are you thinking today?
Well, listen. I think right now I'm looking at the Burnley formation. I'm just fair play. Fuck me.
You've got it spot on.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the midfield are a bit too high, Ben.
Get them fucking all back on the line.
No, I will say what you are going to see a lot of is Larson and Barnes doing their best to occupy Jones and Canate. That they will be frustrating. I think they will be frustrating. The few times they have the ball, I think they're going to be very, very frustrating. And Anthony is someone you have to defend against as well. He's not an easy player to play against. I know Burnley are where they are, but the few times I think they've looked good on the ball has been when the likes of Anthony have got on the ball. He's a very interesting little winger. I personally think Frimpong plays right back. I do. Okay. I would prefer him to play right wing, but I think that because, like Ben said, we're going forward, we're attacking. I think of the formation we played against Brighton. Our right back was our outlet. Joe Gomez was our outlet before Salah came on. And if you could put Frimpong up to where Anthony is for me.
Yeah.
So this is where I imagine our right back being on the ball when we're in possession. Can you move Kirkes in line with Frimpong on the opposite side?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Ideal. And then you're going to see Gakpo where Ugochukwu is. You're going to put right there.
Yep.
Brilliant. Akatike right between the centre-backs. Verts on the right-hand side between Larson and Laurent.
There, yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
and then you're going to have Soboslai right between Barnes and Larson. Barnes and Larson. So like on that side, perfect. Move Jones on the other side. Yeah, move Jones on the other side. Can you have Grav just behind? Yep, right there. Perfect. And then step the two centre-backs up. In possession of the ball, that's pretty much how we were playing against Brighton. It's exactly what I expect us to play against Burnley. The issue that we're going to have is I think it's going to be a little bit narrow at times unless we're using Frimpong and Kirkes. I know we'll use Frimpong. Yeah. I don't know whether we use Kirkes because of the build-up on the left-hand side. Van Dijk always plays it to Kirkes on the back foot. Kirkes plays it back to Van Dijk, who then plays it to Gakpo, who then ignores Kirkes. We've seen it too many times.
The one thing I noticed before when I was doing the index is Milos Kirkes. So statistically this season, he's not been great. He has been hampered in attacking sense, but he's in the top 6% of fullbacks across Europe for progressive passes received. So he is someone who is getting those balls sort of in those attacking areas. He's getting fed it. Maybe it's from Van Dijk, maybe it's from Canate, but he's running onto it often. And I do think that's a skill set that against Burnley today, who are going to leave a lot of space on the top part, I think that's something that you can benefit from. And
end them on his way, therefore,
yeah, like with Gakpo in this team, he notoriously doesn't link up with Kirkes. But I think if you've got Kirkes making those dart and runs on the wing, pulling defenders towards him, Gakpo is going to have more space in the middle to work with. But I don't know. What are we thinking? Like, who will start? Are we thinking Robertson on left back? Are we thinking Kirkes? Like, what's?
I think that for me, I think that's the lineup. But Ben, what do you think?
I would say you're right with that lineup. Yeah, I think he'll play Szoboszlai though on the right hand side. I think he's got to see the one thing with Frimpong and Szoboszlai being on the right wing side of things. Frimpong's not really the aggressive presser which Szoboszlai is. I think if Liverpool are to get an early goal, they need Szoboszlai hounding that fucking back line. But I think you'll bang on with the lineup. If he starts playing Robbo, that's negative from the manager already. That sounds bad that I'm slagging Robbo off. I'm not, but he's more cautious nowadays as the age has caught up with him a notch. You've got to definitely have Kirkes. Look how fucking aggressive he is. Liverpool today, Lou, and Mike, got to be aggressive. They're going to be aggressive. Their game plan is to fucking make sure they keep it as tight as they can. Their fucking team talk is get to half-time 0-0 and we'll come up with something on the fucking way. Do you know what I mean? But I think you're spot on there. Van Dijk and Canate realistically should be sat there with a fucking pair of sunglasses on having a little pint. Do you know what I mean? Sat there on a chair, no bother. Because Liverpool should be hammering them today. My problem is I don't want to see Liverpool not really having goals on their goal. It's it. No. Have more shots. Fucking, it's no good. Szoboszlai having one good shot against fucking Barnsley and then not doing it against the Burnley, who are going to be doing the same thing.
No, absolutely. I need to see Szoboszlai shoot more. I know. So mate Sean said to me, Szoboszlai shooting more. I was like, he needs to shoot even more. Like the shot that he pulled out, he has that space all the time in the Prem because no one presses as high.
Fucking doesn't do it.
Yeah. I want to see it more.
This is the thing. So obviously, there's a comment there saying that they agree with Szoboszlai at right back and Jeremy at right wing. The problem we've got at the moment in this Liverpool team is we rely so heavily on Szoboszlai in midfield. Now, this I know I'm a bit of a stats dork. I can't help it really, but this is the things that Szoboszlai ranks in. He's third for progressive carries. He's second for progressive passes. He's top for shot creating actions. He's second for actual shots in the team. He's top for shots on target. He's got the highest expected assists, and he's also got the most tackles in the defensive third and the midfield third. Now, the issue is I'm happy with Szoboszlai being at right back for this game because Burnley, I can't imagine, are going to press onto us a lot. And Frimpong's got the recovery pace to say if Szoboszlai is at right back and you've got Anthony running at you, you've got Frimpong who's got more than capable recovery pace. But the issue is when Szoboszlai is not in that midfield, he might not shoot a lot, but we lose such a great deal of work rate and someone who's actually happy to take those pot shots from outside the box. So as much as I'm happy with him being at right back so it accommodates Frimpong, I think we'll miss him in midfield today because he'll at least, against the deep back line, try to take those shots from distance, which maybe Wirtz won't or Jones won't.
It's not really like a right back today, though, is it? Because let's be honest, they're not going to be sat back. No. They're going to be up, aren't they?
Szoboszlai's going to be, if Szoboszlai is right back, he's right in that midfield, or if Frimpong is right
back, it's a
midfielder.
Inverted in, isn't he? He's going to be in there around the mix.
Which in a way then kind of justifies the idea of playing him. Because then you can say, like, because surely against a team like Burnley, you want as many creative attacking players on the pitch as you can. So playing Frimpong and Szoboszlai then makes you go, it gives you the opportunity. The only player I'd like to see, if I'm looking at that bench and I'm talking about making an impact off the bench, I'm kind of getting fed up with the Feddy conversation. I like Feddy. I think he's good. I think he's incredibly overhyped. And I think he embodies people's criticisms of Slot, so people support him. So when, does that make sense? Like, I don't mean that as a negative to him. I think he's a good player.
It's not working, is it?
Yeah, it's just not working, and people use him as the antithesis of Slot for some reason. Like, even though I reckon
is that hard to do when you're only getting like 10 minutes every here and there? It's hard to get a good run of form. That,
well, you say, but it's not necessarily a good run of form.
That's the thing. He's better off the bench, isn't he?
Yeah, he's impact off the bench. It's the same with Divock Origi. Rarely played a good 90 minutes for us. Rarely played consistently. But he'd come off the bench and he'd be proper. Chiesa's great off the bench because he's just an absolute bundle of energy. And the fans get behind him. He is a player that when you bring them off the bench, the fans go, oh, let's sing that song. And the fans get a little bit up. You know what I mean? So the fans get up because he's coming on the pitch. And sometimes
you need that today, though, Mike. Yeah. When the fucking game will have a lull, because slot football brings a lot of lulls. And I know that sounds like a dig at him. It's not. We don't attack full on. We fucking drop off. Do you know what I would have done personally? This is just my opinion. Out of Gravenberch, Szoboszlai and Jones, I'd have took one of them out. And the reason why I say that is I'd have dropped that Rio in there today. Just something to fucking run at them. Get the crowd off the feet. And I know it's not everyone's ideal scenario, but there's no one in that front line that's going to start really hounding their left back.
Yeah.
Just someone that you go look for him and send him on his fucking way. Like you've just mentioned with Kerkers.
Yeah. But that's also why Frimpong in those one-on-one situations is going to be massive. And I completely agree with you. I'd love Engamoa to get game time, but the problem is
different, isn't it?
He and Kerkez both occupy all this space here.
Yeah.
So
which Gakpo will be over by the fucking Hart. What's his name? Hartman.
Hey, Gakpo's going to be fucking. He's going to be miles away. But yeah, like
the problem is, you want to know something?
Engamoa wants to square people up. Go ahead, man.
Sorry, I was going to say Ekdal, Son, Esteval. From what I've seen, I could be completely wrong on this, by the way, because Son is the lad that's coming for Walker, isn't
he? Yes.
Yeah. I think so. Walker's a massive miss. There isn't much pace in that, other than Hartman. There's not much pace in that Burnley defense. So I do think having, I don't know, I've got a feeling that Gakpo's actually going to have a really good game today. Like,
he
should.
I mean, he should.
He
fucking should do. I'm not the biggest fan of Gakpo this season at all, but I've got a feeling like today's a day where your little flicks and your touch and goes and all that, like Gakpo, Ekitike, Jones, Wirtz should all have a good day.
Yeah,
they should have a good day.
Yeah.
They'll be the space
to have the ball a lot, Mike, aren't they?
Yeah, they're gonna have
There's
that.
a comment saying in that team, Dom and Frimpong cross to Eki and Gakpo. My issue is the way Liverpool play at the moment is so like it's always to get the ball into that area. Like it's always to put the ball into the center. But the issue is No fucker wants to be in that area of the pitch. Ekitike doesn't even get there. And even if you stick him in there, he's going to have like 5, 6, 7 players surrounding him. So we can't be trying to cross the ball today. It's more about shooting through the center, trying to break them down. Like, I just can't see a world where we're just crossing the ball into the box constantly is going to change anything for us.
This is why we really crossed the ball on so much, you know. Sorry, Mike. Sorry. Just want to say, people saying we're bought 2 9s. Ekitike for me, he's not a natural 9. He's not a 9. He's a fucking hybrid of a Bobby, and he's in and around that mix. Let's be honest. You need Isak on that penalty spot. That's what we're lacking against these type of fucking teams. Someone like that West Ham goal, you know, at their ground. Ekitike's probably not scoring that goal because he's not in that position. He likes to make things happen where Isak will stand. Like Haaland scores most goals by standing still. Isak's the same, and that which is great for Liverpool because I think, do you know, the future of Liverpool. I know we're talking wingers and shit like that, but I think we've got the front line in front of our eyes. It's just how they fit them in. I personally believe it will go narrow. Let's say, for instance, if Slot wasn't the manager, nothing really going to change with him being there now. As an example, if Alonso was to come in, I think Liverpool will go like a 3-4-3 and have Kerkez and Frimpong bomb. They'll be the width. But I think when I looked at them, Leverkusen, when they came to Anfield, I was sat right behind the manager. So I was dead low down and had a good view of their attack coming to the Kop end in the first half. They had 2 behind the striker, and I think that's what Liverpool will potentially go with. Ekitike next to Wirtz, behind Isak, because you want that link-up. That's exactly the link-up that scored that goal against Spurs, isn't it? Wirtz and then Ekitike threading it through and shit like that. And I think there's a lot of excitement like that. That's how I think Liverpool.
That triangle.
The front three will be with the width coming from. I'm talking. I didn't even notice you set that up because I was just fucking going on a mad one. But I think that's how Liverpool will get joyful because we are not a winger team anymore because we're not going to find a like Salah, are we? Who's going to score you 30 goals off the right hand side? No. Don't know what we're going to do off the left. Our goals is there.
Yeah,
I agree. Listen. I agree. By the way, like I do agree. I think I had a thought that just completely slipped my mind. And you are right. Like I agree. I think, but that's what I was going to say. For me, Ekitike doesn't remind me of Firmino. He reminds me of Sturridge. And there was
you get what I mean, though, don't you? He's
no.
No,
you're right. Yeah. You are right in what you say. I do agree with the Firmino thing. But the Sturridge, the reason I mentioned Sturridge is because of an interview he gave not long ago, and he mentioned when he was in an England camp, Gary Neville and Hodgson kept telling him, "We don't need you on the edge of the box. You've got a habit. You always come to the edge of the box, right? You come to the edge." And this is what I was saying with Ekitike. So he always comes to the edge of the box, Sturridge, and he was like, "We need you in there. We don't need you in the build-up. We need you in there." Ekitike and Sturridge had the same thing. They're very creative players, but in terms of the movement, I think, because I think Firmino's just naturally, just like you said, like Firmino, just a genius. Ekitike is very smart, but he does come to the edge of the box a bit too much for me. He tries to involve himself a little bit too much. And I think where Firmino excelled is the same place Sturridge was hindered. And that's because of the types of forward we try to use him as. So as Ben said there, when you're saying he's not an Isak, when we have an Isak in the side, like you say, Ekitike doing what he does now is unbelievable. Perfect.
Yeah. Because he's got a target man to go with. Yeah.
And he's got exactly. Whereas now, because we don't have Isak, it is great to see, it's great to watch, and it does work on occasion. But we need you in there. We need you in there.
He's looking up, thinking, "Where's my target man?" When he's the target man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. He does that a lot. He does. He looks. He's like, "Where's the runner?" It's like, "No, you're meant to be the runner, mate." Like,
fucking you, lads.
It's meant to be you. You daft.
But yeah. So, but boys, listen. I think that was a fucking wonderful show. I think we should do a bit of a score prediction here. I think, and then
Liverpool needs to fucking bell us and get us in.
I think we've just solved the problem. You started off.
We've solved the issues.
But we figured out. Lewis insulted my dentist.
Oh, it's all fun and games.
Look,
games. Let's do the score predictions. Ben, you're the guest of honor. Who, by the way, just before we do shoot off, if you haven't already, go over to Red or Alive TV. Cannot stress enough the great work they do over there. It's entertaining. It's intelligent. It's great to watch. I see them on there. They've had all sorts. I've been on there. Mike's been on there. Please do get involved. Make sure to click like and subscribe and show them some support. What's your score prediction for today, Ben? Then what are you hoping for? What are you thinking? What's the news?
What's the news, mate? No, look, before I give my score prediction, I just want to say to you, you boys have a connection that you need to keep progressing with. You bounce off each other. And for me, it's been great to come on. I'll always come on, and you can boys always come on our show. And look, it's not just about whether we're live here, it's about your channel, boys. So I don't know, obviously, it's predominantly yours, Lou. I know you've done a lot of things, and Mike's getting involved with you. I don't know the full setup now, but
I don't think we do, to be honest.
Yeah, Ben, but basically, the setup is I'm America and Lewis Strasbourg. I bought Chelsea, and I'm in control of Lewis' channel now, so I get 100% of the revenue. And
here we go.
Strasbourg, if I'm being anyone. Let's get a grip of Liam the senior over here. Manage. It's just man and age.
That fucking fella, mate. We'll off the in-betweeners in a Chelsea job, lad. Unbelievable. But I know the effort that goes into it, so just keep going with it. We'll always help you out with it, as much as we can push it out there. This is a great channel, and I know you do a lot of work, and with the Anfield Index as well. So look, make sure you support the lads, people, because they're two top lads, and a lot goes into the work. I know what it's like. I'm fucking going grey, probably on my beard from this season alone. You know what I mean? So support them. Now, score prediction. I see a Liverpool win, but I don't see the most exciting performance. And I think a lot of it, it's not that we don't want it. You also have to look who you're facing as well. A very, very negative team. I see a 1-0 Liverpool win because I don't see as many goals from a lot of places on the pitch. But if it's a win, we just crack on with it, don't we?
Okay, Lou.
Did we get a score prediction there, or did I completely...
1-0. No.
1-0, okay. It's like... I thought I just had a moment.
No, I thought I had a bit of a stroke then. Sorry. I was like, did I ask for a summary or a fucking score prediction there? What happened then?
I like it, though. I like it. Yeah, I think you're absolutely spot on, by the way.
Yeah, Lou, as Beyond the Cop is now my channel, I'll put the question to you, son. What's your score prediction before I wrap up?
I'll fly to America. Oh, sorry. Are you going to wrap up? Go ahead. I'll tell you what,
I'll
Ben.
This up. I'll
not Ben, Mike. That's fine. Once I've given my predictions, right, you can end the stream. How about that? Because you've got all the power.
Not a problem. I'll happily do that from my position. Not a problem. Lou, what's your score prediction? Thanks for coming on the show today, Lou.
Let's suck your mum. I think it's going to be... You know what? I'm going to go with my Super 6 prediction where I put online. I'm thinking it's going to be 2-1. I think Burnley will get the first, and then we'll be reactionary. And I think we'll get both goals before the 60th minute, and then it'll be a bit of a slog for the last. But I don't think it's going to be great. I don't think it's going to be attacking, but I do think it's going to be a bit more forward thinking than we're thinking at the moment. But 2-1 for me, I think.
Okay, I like that.
If they go 1-0 up, though, fuck me, that ground's going to be bad.
I think they will. It'll be a corner. It'll be something daft, but somehow.
Fucking hope not. I'm going to say 3-0.
Ooh.
I'll tell you why. It's like one of the cartoon characters been banged on the head, and I'm just like all the birds around my head.
The fucking things are spinning round.
No, I think 3-0. I think Ekatike, I think Wirtz, and I think Gakpo gets in on the act as well. I do think it's going to be one of those games where one goes in, it's a bit fucking tight for a bit, and then 2 and 3 back to back. But yeah, boys, thanks for coming on, Ben. Thanks for coming on the show, Lou. Always lovely to have you on.
Oh, thank you, man. I really appreciate the work you've been doing. The AI-generated videos of my face on the videos is really, really impressive.
It takes
top quality.
Listen, to get that beard on point, it took hours of editing. But hey, I'm glad I got it done. And now you're fine. But no, Lou, genuinely, jokes aside, thanks for doing this with me and bringing me on. I do genuinely appreciate it, and hopefully one of many more. We'll see where this takes us. But guys, thank you for joining the show. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you tell a friend, a stranger, an enemy, a foe, a hairdresser, a barber, an uncle, a nephew. Anyone you can tell about the show. Word of mouth is the best way to spread it because we are broke, not to speak for the boys. And yeah, thanks for coming on. And Lou, I'll let you close the show, mate. Go on.
Oh, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. It's like my dad giving me a beer on Christmas.
Yeah.